better. And they were like, oh yeah, and like who wakes up and can just have a better morning and play slightly better because it is kind of they're attributing that to how much FlyQuest have improved. So I'm very excited to actually see this matchup, and it does put more emphasis on the draft. If a lot of the other pro players do think that has the possibility of swinging here. Of course, everybody's thinking about Nasus, and FlyQuest had a pretty big weekend last weekend. So we'll see as we get deep into Fearless if they do have some fun power picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really interesting, right? I talked to Massu, I talked to APA before the games, and Massu was kind of emphasizing that it's their success in scrims is often based off their hands, based off their aggression, and that sometimes that doesn't go well on stage. Sometimes it can bite them in the butt. But we also heard from Inspired. He called them the most frustrating team, the team he likes playing against the least because they are so aggressive. You really have to be careful about not overstepping against FlyQuest because they will fight you at every turn.
FlyQuest is such a fun team to watch. And me and Kobe were legitimately talking about this backstage before the games began today. Even if they're not the best, even if people aren't considering them one of the top 1 or 2 teams in the league, they're still so much fun to watch because they will play so aggressively. So now that we're into the draft, let's go ahead and take a look. Orianna, Nautilus, Jarvan, banned by FlyQuest. It's the Varus, the Karma, and the Mbessa, banned by C9. As we have the first pick, Cassio from C9, answered by Lucian Milio immediately for Fly.
Yeah, Lucian Milio is really rising in priority because people are just saying, we can blind this. You can't play the Ashe Seraphine into it. We feel that it's a good answer, so that's kind of just denying that style of pick. Corki Nami then going to be the answer for Zven and Vulcan. And I do think that APA going for this early Cassio is interesting because you're taking this away from Quad in a best-of-5 series. He's never going to get that. It is also one of the most played for APA and an absolute comfort pick. And it will not be countered in the first 3. So now C9 even has the ability to throw down some protection bans if they need.
I do like that we're seeing them kind of play right into the style of drafts that we think are strong for them. FlyQuest, you're mentioning aggression flowers, and they slam the Lucian again. Massu loves going super aggressive with this combo, especially with Milio to back him up, and then getting the carry for Gakgos, the Rumble, opening them up for some Rumble comps here. So we are going to get the aggression from FlyQuest here in game number 1. Let's take a look at the jungle pool, though, because Jarvan, is widely considered like super strong and like borderline OP on the patch right now. And so he's the only one that has been taken out. So you still get all the other power picks, like the Pantheon and stuff floating around. But you're getting targets here from Cloud9 instead because of Gryffin's love for playing jungle Shen. They actually might signal, hey, we want to go Vi, so maybe that's why they're banning out the Shen. It has been used by FlyQuest pretty heavily to counter that champ, and so FlyQuest say, okay, fine. Your Shen ban means you're wanting to go Vi, so we're going to answer.
Exactly. It's a jungle for a jungle, that targeted Shen ban you're talking about. On the FlyQuest side, their first ban in the second half, also the Aurora. They know that they've already locked in that Rumble like you're talking about, a power pick for Gakgos, but Thanatos is not afraid to play the Aurora top. It is a flex pick, but some top laners in our league just really... they don't have reps on it, they aren't experienced with it, or maybe they're just not good at performing on it, but Thanatos is not in any of those categories, so they want to remove that option. Nocturne also going to be another jungle ban here for C9 in the second half. Back over to the FlyQuest side. No, nobody's believing that. Come on, Massu. Just go ahead and show us what you're actually...
mid. I honestly...
Outrange the Cassio?
I give it a little bit of credence. We have seen this pop up a little bit. Insanity has played it even in NACL, but it is instead going to be, more standard pick.
You said the right word. Insanity. That is not happening. We are playing Viktor from Arcane. That is what happens.
I give it a little bit of belief. I've seen it around.
Laser the wave, cast your ult in a team fight, and hope it gets big.
We're going to remember this in game number 5.
Yeah,
game number 5 of Fearless.
All right. He'll come crawling back.
All right. Tell you what, if they play Kog'Maw mid in game number 5, you guys can put a sock in a blender and I'll drink the soup.
I will make that. Yeah. Okay. Sock soup.
What a weird day. I got to put makeup on Raz, and then we get to make a sock smoothie for flowers.
I'm willing to give Quad 5,000 RP to pick Kog'Maw. You want to pitch in?
Say that. You're not supposed to say that.
He didn't say we can't bribe him. You got 5K?
Actually,
anyone in chat want to watch flowers drink sock soup? Can we get
Actually,
a poll or something?
Let's crowdfund this.
Yeah, let's crowdfund this.
All of
You
chat
guys
will
are
help us.
diabolical,
Everyone
man.
chat
Hey, over on the other
contributes a little
side,
bit of RP.
Blaber's playing Lee Sin in game 1, by the way.
Lee Sin, legitimately, I think
He's
so strong,
strong.
with the buff. For W buff to always get the shield and just being always 7 seconds is insane. This champion has really high skill expression, but it's also the general win rate right now, even in solo queue, is through the roof. I think it actually just got put over the edge.
I'm completely with you, but the producer just said something very funny, and now I have to repeat it.
Okay.
He said we should actually be crowdfunding the socks for the.
Oh, Lord, no. No.
Well-
Sock from a fresh pack of socks. I ain't wearing some dude's sock that he's had on his foot for the last 7 days. No, sir.
I don't know. I'm kind of down with that. All right. We're going to take the sock voting and the crowdfunding, give it a little break, and we're actually going to ask chat for some serious feedback here, because the story I was talking about with how important the draft will be, we want to ask you who will win based on the draft right now. Spam either Cloud9, just C9, or FLY for FlyQuest, because both of these coaching staffs have been very, very vocal about their strategies and how good they are at drafting, and they have also both celebrated very early during games even, and we've had coach cams on them. So very excited for this one, with the possibilities of this series going deep. And let us know throughout the entire series. We'll be tracking who you thought won each draft before the game.
I feel like it's honestly pretty even just from my own kind of preferences here. I don't think Milio gets a lot of value. You know, it's really just the Petrifying Gaze. If you can be positioned to actually cleanse a Petrifying Gaze, that's about it. So I feel like Milio, when it's not against hard CC, is not nearly as strong. And I do think that could work against FlyQuest a bit here.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Maybe the benefits, because a lot of people love the range boost and the extra synergy with Lucian. We'll see. I think I definitely agree. It depends on, can they get the early lead and then transition him into the mid lane where they get poked to get to objectives first, because they're the team that doesn't have the tank. They don't have easy setup for these objectives with frontline. So they are going to want, that classic Lucian in mid lane, getting mid lane priority to help them, go to the objectives early. And then we'll see, can Cloud9 with their more traditional team comp.
Ooh, instant action here in the bottom lane as Massu loses out on the 2v2 trade. But I like what you're bringing up about not having a true tank on the side of FlyQuest, because I'm not going to lie, gentlemen, I just think Sion is OP. He's the best tank in the game. He dies, he becomes a carry, he scales infinitely because of how Soul Furnace works with stacking health. Whenever you have this character and the enemy team does not have anything even remotely resembling his archetype, I feel like it's a weighted game.
Yeah, it is really, really difficult. And I mean, to make matters worse, all top laners know if you mess up your laning phase, you can actually just lose 1v1 early to Sion as well. Like, this character is really, really strong. And this is the result from Twitch chat. 59% saying C9.
And look at that. This is our, gift from last week, where the coaches during the game were doing a little cheers, Red Bull cheers.
Yeah.
The FlyQuest one, they did a handshake. It was 2 weeks ago, and they were kind of celebrating. So we'll see if Cloud9's kind of more traditional team comp here with the, Sion on front line, and then the dual carries with Cassio and Corki is going to be able to find the advantage for their team fights. I still have my eye on the creativity possible here with Lee Sin.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the bot lane a little bit, just because that early trade looked like it went so favored to C9, but Nami is so mana hungry that it's actually becoming a little bit problematic. Vulcan had gotten quite low on mana, so they actually just had to fully back up, let them get the reset, and now Thanatos getting a nice little chase down and farming some first strike gold.
Yeah, Gakgos is getting a little bit of momentum there, but again, it's not a big deal. Sion, very tanky. Scuttle Crabs about to spawn. Both junglers completing their full clears, both on the bottom half of the map, but considering the bot laners recalled on the FlyQuest side, about to recall here on the C9 side, there's not going to be a fight.
And, the lane that you're talking about here with the bottom side too, though, kind of following up on the aggression Flowers was looking for FlyQuest.
Yes.
And the draft with the early slam on the Lucian Milio really has paid off, because Massu got the early back, so he runs back to lane really quickly here to get another push. And Corki, your first back is just tier, so not the combat power there. And so we'll see about the follow-up, because now with the junglers both finishing their first clears and stuff, they're going to have some time to go back on down to the other side. I will say that early investment in control ward as well up behind the Raptor pit does help out a little bit for Cloud9 trying to track, but both junglers are headed top side right now anyway.
All right, as the junglers head up here to the top side, let's see if Blaber can find himself an angle. He is on top of a ward. Gakgos knows this. He's waiting for Gryffin to arrive, maybe to bait a 2v2, but no, looks like we're not going to get anything. And since we're still just farming, here was C9 coach Inero last week on why Cloud9 chose FlyQuest as their first round opponent.
But we are selecting Fly. There was a lot of back and forth amongst us, all of yesterday and today.
Wait, who had the supreme decision?
Me.
Okay, so when we cook you guys, that's going to be your fault.
I just love that reaction from Gryffin. He says so much confidence no matter what. He's like, I got to know who to blame and who to blame.
Ooh, bottom side, Massu does take a little bit of damage, but Zven and Vulcan also both at about half HP. FlyQuest are unafraid.
Yeah, so the FlyQuest, they're keeping up their aggression on bottom side, kind of as expected here with the Lucian Milio, but also in the mid lane, APA, got his own little lead over there with the Cassio being able to push in early, and the lane that is in the advantage for C9.
This bot lane, though, they have double summoner advantage. They just force Zven and Vulcan to base, and they're already up 10 CS. They are kind of cooking them right now in the 2v2, and it was not what I was expecting from this matchup. So Massu and Cryogen just playing it so aggressive, and I love how they're playing it around these timings. Every time bone plating is up, they're going in, they're getting the maximum from these runes, and Blaber, this is spotted, so trying to take this dragon.
Yeah, and remember, it's exactly what you were talking about during the draft. It's Lucian Milio picked first for FlyQuest. They wanted to draft this because they're saying you can't pick Ashe Seraphine into it. The Corki Nami is the response, and your response is getting blasted? That's, I don't know, maybe chat's been having a couple of drinks here with the 59 versus 41 draft favoring.
This lane phase action here and the confidence of Massu and Cryogen has been on display all year long. And it's been really fun to watch for this bottom lane. So, yeah, I do like that they had the confidence to go for the aggressive matchup here and play it that way. The Zoomers, as you can see, the Zoomers are off to an early start, an early lead even maybe.
Yeah, we wanted to track this. The bot lane race to Arizona. The Boomers versus the Zoomers here, fighting it out in the bot lane. And a little scrap over here.
Man, I really want Vulcan's hat. That's a damn nice hat. Anyway, Blaber going in, looking for the play onto Gryffin as he tries to turn it around, but no, it's first blood, and they give it over to APA's Cassio.
This is a classic here, especially with the Blaber-Gryffin matchup. Bottom lane still going.
Yeah, Zven has to flash away. He's only got 100 HP, but Massu flashes forward with a double shot. FlyQuest make things even across the lane.
Okay, so Massu and Cryogen do bail out the fail play from Gryffin, but I was going to say, that is the classic death for Gryffin, especially even versus Blaber, was over Raptors over and over in the previous matchup that they did have, though. And he goes for it, gets kicked there. The Lee Sin mobility really paying off. But then again, back to draft, as I was saying, that's why they slammed this Lucian Milio, so they can go aggressive like this.
Yeah, Gryffin is going to be able to go in. I kind of feel like Quad should have just committed more to it. Maybe if he actually flashes in, he doesn't get any autos down on the Cassio. I feel like it could have been closer, but then down on the other side of the map, Massu goes forward, chunks out Zven. They get down his Valk, and once that's gone, they know they want to go really, really aggressive here.
You can see Zven and Vulcan just not having the respect they need to have. Zven flashes away, and Massu's ready to follow. I feel like Zven has been one of the big points of critique for C9, despite their overall success throughout this season, and it's because of moments like that.
And we said we wanted to track this bot lane 2v2, and it feels like we have an early leader in the race.
We definitely do. I mean, they're able to get their own 2v2 kill for themselves.
C9 doesn't even have real horses.
Where are they? Those are little sticks lagging behind. All right, Zoomer. Okay, so
both sides have 4 legs, but one side has horse legs, and the other side has people legs.
Wait, Raptor gank.
Okay, hold on, Blaber again, making a huge play with the Dragon's Rage as APA talks his smack in the all chat, and he and Blaber are again making moves in the mid lane.
Wait, is all chat right before the jungler comes to gank too? That is diabolical.
That is calling your shot.
That is diabolical. I mean, you try and get in their heads, but I mean, they're demolishing now the jungle mid 2v2, which was desynced. Gryffin, though, looking for more.
Oh, he flashes over the wall, the wind becomes lightning, and now Zven is going to be your target yet again. C9 summoning up a teleport as the culling fires off. FlyQuest trying to back away. APA has arrived. Doesn't look like he'll be able to slither his way towards any sort of a counter kill, so everybody walks away, no dead bodies.
Yeah, after the plays around mid lane not working out, jungler's like, all right, I'm going to go to my winning lane, try and play around there instead, since it's not working playing around with quad, but they get the teleport. That's about it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, though, it's very, very close. Even though there is that mid-jungle lead for C9, they're kind of naturally winning on both of the side lanes. First Strike helping out a little bit, for Gakgos up on that top side, and the bot lane 2v2 going really well here for Massu and Cryogen. So the question kind of becomes, which lane can carry harder? How are these team fights going to go? Because we are setting ourselves up for a really close mid-game.
Yeah, and since you've got the Milio in your pocket here for Massu, I do think he's going to have a good chance, of being able to carry, but we'll have to see about the first couple objectives, especially if there's a good Sion flank from Thanatos, a good Sion ultimate to create a lot of space for them and construct a better team fight. They certainly have plenty of wards around the bottom half of the map for Massu to play confidently, and he did just hit his Essence Reaver spike, so he is at a really nice bursty spike right now. Blaber, though, maybe he's trying to come put this bot side of the map in check a little.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually trying to wait and maybe catch someone in transition.
Wrapping behind the Raptors here. Genius.
Yeah, Blaber again looking for the play. Dragon's Rage knocks him right back to the petrifying gaze. It's a wombo combo of the highest degree as Gryffin falls again. Meanwhile, bottom side, C9's bot lane might be behind, but they're staying alive.
All right, I got to ask chat now, who do you believe in more? Is it jungle diff or is it bot lane diff? Because the jungle diff is resulting...
There's numbers on the screen. The Cassiopeia is more ahead than both Massu and Cryogen put together, Kobe. As now, the fight over the dragon begins. C9 have control over the pit. Massu and Cryogen, they're feeling strong, they're feeling powerful, and then they look at the rest of the scoreboard, they press tab, and they're not feeling so great. They back away.
Yeah, that's a tough thing.
Think about jungle diff, it gets you objectives.
Yep, jungle diff gets you objectives, and Zven and Vulcan, they don't need to fight them, right? They just need to actually mitigate their loss. They are behind, but they can kind of just chill and allow Blaber and APA to keep running the game. Blaber has been so good with these early kicks. The combo with the Cassio, so nice to see that. The Dragon's Rage into that Petrifying Gaze time and time again here, getting multiple kills. And Blaber already had that early Eclipse. They already had the early Roa. Just now, the first item is going to be completed there for Gryffin.
And to me, it's a victory of planning. It's not even like a miracle just happened here. It was all about tracking and putting the ward and knowing the Raptor timing and wrapping around. Blaber goes here through the enemy jungle, no vision, wraps around on the Raptor timing. Not only does he defend his own Raptor play from Gryffin, but then attacks Griffin's Raptor play, and APA is the beneficiary with this scaling Cassiopeia build. Is really, really big stuff again in this Blaber versus Gryffin matchup.
It's also just interesting because, in pro play, there's a 99% of the time Sundered Sky is actually purchased. And that is not like an exaggeration. That is the literal number, the amount of time that it is purchased.
Hold on. Down here in the bottom side, Zven has to get away yet again as Massu gets healed up by the cozy campfire. Milio is such a silly champion. I feel ridiculous calling out these names. Isaac, now that you're also a play-by-play caster, you can share in the ridiculousness.
You don't love getting a warm hug? Sounds kind of nice, doesn't it?
Breath of Life is at least...
Sit by the cozy campfire, get a warm hug.
Sounding, but all the rest of it is nonsense.
Some Ultra Mega Fire Kicks.
I mean, that's my favorite one, actually.
I mean, Ultra Mega Fire Kick is very silly. But
I kind of like it. You
No,
know?
it's
a different vibe.
He's a very silly character.
Yeah.
Okay, but he also already has his Ardent Sensor done. We know how much Lucian benefits from these Enchanter supports that can buff him up. So Massu and Cryogen are having a great time. But on the other side, Imperial Mandate also finished for Vulcan. So both of our Enchanters are ready to enchant, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's Nami's core build. It's Nami's full build, actually. The
She's
big
like Yone. One item.
flash burned here.
Oh.
Massu just dashes in, and immediately another summoner spell down.
I love how aggressive they're playing, because the last time Culling was up, he got Vulcan's flash. Now Culling's up again, instantly gets Zven's flash. They are just playing around these timings so effectively, and they're keeping the pressure on. They are keeping some hope here right now for FlyQuest as APA is moving down there.
Yeah, APA is coming down, and I want to go back to what we were talking about in draft, how this is a great strategy in general, just as a takeaway to remove the Cassiopeia from Quad, since that's his signature champ. APA also plays it a lot, but you're looking at this right now. This is the largest individual gold lead in the game. APA's Cassiopeia is nothing to be scoffed at.
All right, we get our break point now. Lucian into mid lane finally. They rotate him over. This is the point I was talking about for trying to get the mid lane prio into rotating up to topside plays. I guess we still have quite a while for the Drake, so maybe no action for another minute and 40 seconds or something here, but they've got the setup ready. And Gakgos as well on the Rumble is going to have an opportunity now to get some screen time. We haven't really seen the top laners much as it's just been farming, but he has a lot of power for the mid-game dragon fights. This is where Rumble could really, really shine. Unfortunately, FlyQuest doesn't have the comp to like help him with a lot of CC to keep people on his ultimate, but he is still going to have the possibilities for big damage output here with his Leandries and his extra needlessly large rod.
Yeah, it feels like so much of the fight to me is going to come down to the start for FlyQuest. You know, can you get a good culling? Can you get a good equalizer? You know, chunk people out before that fight starts. Push back C9 before they can kind of get their setup, because C9 is going to have some really good sustained damage.
And Massu doing the, earlier work that we saw to get the flash on Zven down before this dragon fight could really open that up, because Cassio and Corki here are going to be, well, Blaber. Let's see if this actually works. They're just hovering around, not going to have the trigger pulled yet, but honestly, I really do think they can try and put some more pressure onto these carries and just kind of work around the Sion. This FlyQuest team, if they get good flank angles here, are going to put a lot of pressure, and the Milio ult means that he can keep Lucian looking very aggressive in his positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you try to full send it onto Massu, you have the Breath of Life, you have the heal, you have the barrier, you have multiple charges of shields. That is a lot of health to work through. And FlyQuest feeling confident to just take this Herald because Sion ulted down to bot to farm. Yeah, Sion could still TP, but Sion without ulti, much less threatening. So C9 not even going to contest this. Can't find a pick mid. And FlyQuest down 1K, down 2 dragons. This next fight, so important.
All right, Dragon aggroed by the Sonic Wave. C9 not going to fully commit to this here just yet. FlyQuest is nearby. Keep your eyes on the Rumble. TP also coming in from Quad, making his way down here. Thanatos has teleport if C9 want to full commit to this. Zven backing away for now. Loses about 40% of his HP. FlyQuest, control over the Drake, down to half health. APA looking for his entry into the fight. Blaber, keep your eyes on the Lee Sin. He wants to try to go in, goes for the kick onto Gryffin, but the Dragon is going to be secured by FlyQuest. C9 looking for a little bit more as the Herald tries to get Massu away to safety. Thanatos has already arrived. Summoner spells committed by C9, but ultimately for naught as FlyQuest stopped the stack.
That was really well played there by Gryffin. He just pops out with the Crescent Guard, knocks away the Lee Sin as he was going for that Dragon's Rage kick, and secures the smite very easily as a result.
Yeah, they had really good positioning early for FlyQuest. Again, getting there first helped so much and kind of allowed the chunk on Zven too. Half health, and the Corki already had no flash, so Massu.
Oh, Massu's in a little bit of trouble now, though. Cozy Campfire, keeping him healed up enough, but big chunk there into the health bar.
Exciting bursts of damage here through the mid, but
it'd be more exciting if somebody died.
Yeah, okay. We need a good finale for the for the excitement, huh? An explosive one.
How many shows end with a bad finale? Right? Think back to Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Sure, at least one.
This one could be Breaking Bad.
Okay, all right. Well, let's...
or The Wire.
Oh, The Wire, I did enjoy The Wire. The Wire is great television. If you guys haven't seen The Wire, you need to watch it right now. I'm just going to go ahead and recommend it.
And I was just checking back because it felt like Thanatos showed up to that fight so late, but he was just waiting for the ultimate cooldown to come off. So again, it's a couple knock-on effects because he uses the ult to get down bot to catch a little bit more farm. That meant they gave up Herald. That also meant that they were pretty late to the Dragon. But remember, we are back in the Riot Games Arena next week, and tickets are on sale. Now head to lcs.tixer.com to get your tickets today. We want to see you, and so do the pros.
I think that's a really good point you were making, though, because this team does depend a lot on structure to their team fight, and a couple of seconds can make the difference in everything. If you have that sign here, there's your whole front line, especially if your Corki has been chunked and had no flash, and your Cassio really needs some, space to work with.
Yeah.
APA can pump. He's got a really good lead, and he has both.
Pumping.
He's ticked over to 10 stacks for his Rod of Ages now. So like,
Pumping stacks.
If you keep him, safe and give him some space to work with a well-structured team fight, then
Give him a warm hug, and he can pump.
Maybe a cozy campfire for him to pump about.
Yes. APA has been spotted on word there, but yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, Sion now moving towards mid. They're trying to set up a potential flank here. FlyQuest looks like they are ready for it. They have spotted them coming in.
But keep your eyes on Blaber. Remember, Lee Sin, displacement is one of the strongest effects in all of League of Legends. To make an enemy character move when they don't want to, very, very strong. And if Blaber can find the angle, that is how C9 makes plays. But FlyQuest spotting them out here, trying to set a trap at the red buff, so C9 has to retreat.
Yep, and they are just well aware of what is going on here. Gakgos is playing very safe down on this bot side. He is going to back off for sure after killing that wave. APA reveals again, so just playing it smart.
And Gakgos up 1,000 gold despite both top laners being 0, 0, and 0. And this has kind of been the story of Gakgos throughout the year, is this guy is really good on carries. It's his tank play that lacks. And so far, having a good showing so far on Rumble, but he's got to make sure that once it's finally time for the top laners to get involved, that equalizer lands straight. His overheat is well managed. Top side now, Thanatos going in. Tries to make the charge towards Quad, flash away from the Viktor, keeping him alive for now. FlyQuest trying to make sure they can rescue their mid laner, but Massu's already going to take a lot of damage. Blaber goes for the kick, nicely done yet again! Gryffin between two enemies as Quad dies. Vulcan grabbing the kill on that one. Massu tries to get away, but no, APA's in a killing spree. Gakgos tries to get something done, but it will not matter. That is 3 for nothing, C9. The game was at a pivotal point, and it breaks in C9's favor.
Much better planning from Cloud9 on this one. They are there ahead of time. They make the trailing side lane play here with both solo laners going top to get the early advantage. And even though FlyQuest try and teleport over to save the play with the Rumble teleport, because look at this pincer from Cloud9, they get the Viktor flash and they force him down in a really bad spot. Rumble just ults, teleports up to the top side, so pretty easy collapsing. Man, that Nami ultimate was just insane.
Huge.
Catches all of them, but a really good little pincer from Cloud9. They set up the play early. You could see on the mini-map as Cassio was trailing down the Sion lane, and then they go Sion ultimate and force Viktor into the river. So FlyQuest, in a reaction here, tried to save the play, but Cloud9, with the better planning, pull it off and get the Baron. And those rewards are so big because there's so much standing gold in all of these towers that they can mine a lot.
Yeah, they absolutely can. I mean, I talked about the importance of the start of the fight, and the start of the fight was just horrible for them. It's Quad having to flash away. It's Massu getting chunked out. It's, FlyQuest not in position there. So great play from C9, and Blaber has just been on one in this game.
Yeah.
Really looking good, looking so decisive. Lee Sin back in the meta, and now he has his Sundered Sky done, probably working in towards a GA as that third item, and he is just crushing it.
I really love... Oh, hold on. I don't love when I'm down to 100 HP, nearly getting bursted by the enemy bot lane duo, but I really love when Lee Sin is back in the meta for jungling because he is so skill expressive, because a poorly played Lee Sin is crap. He doesn't do anything, but a well-played Lee Sin, a Lee Sin like what Blaber is doing so far, makes plays out of nothing.
And the jungle matchup is going to be so important throughout this series. Blaber obviously dominating in the first one. This is Gryffin versus Inspired and Blaber, who a lot of people are looking at as some of the very best junglers in the league, top teams in the league. When you think back to Lock-In, he got dominated by these junglers. That was the story of the series. More recently, yes, they did lose to Cloud9 1-2, but that was still a way more competitive series from Gryffin. He was in there, giving as good as he got.
Now, here in the top side, we got another play coming in from C9 as Gakgos just drops. Blaber goes on a killing spree here. 3-0-4 on the Lee Sin. 100% kill participation. Maintaining that stat as FlyQuest. Honestly, gentlemen, they are just scrambling to survive at this point. It's a C9 6,500 gold lead.
Yeah, Cloud9, basically this game, almost everything except for the bottom lane was exceptional from them. You know, Blaber's planning, being able to defend his own Raptors against Gryffin, who very often tries to go for these plays, and, you know, kicking him back into the Cassio. You could definitely say, hey, maybe if Quad was on the same page there and had flashed over, maybe they could have gone 1-for-1. But still, regardless, then going for the second Raptor play, Blaber's planning, and then to go punish Gryffin there again. And getting Gryffin kind of 2 deaths around Raptors early on in the game helped, and maybe...
Oh, Blaber goes in, trying to find the kill. Massu also taken very low. Gryffin staying alive right now thanks to the Crescent Guard, but he finally falls. APA and Blaber have way too much damage. Massu is down to 400 HP. The Lucian has to get all the way away. Gakgos trying to survive as Blaber and APA go over the wall. They are unafraid entirely of what FlyQuest can try to respond with. As C9 gonna walk it out here. APA just walks through with the Void Grubs, tanking most of the damage. Blaber there with a safeguard. Quad now staying decently healthy, but no, Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike. Blaber forces him back yet again as Cryogen down to 50 HP, dies to APA as he wants even more. Massu and Quad trying to escape, but no. Frost Bomb takes out Massu. Quad flashing underneath the tier 2 turret here on the top side as Blaber will finally remove the last vestiges of HP from the tier 3 turret. Nope, never mind. They're going to go after Gakgos first. It's actually the turret destroyed by Vulcan of all people, as C9 11-1 are showing why they were the top seed heading into playoffs here. They picked FlyQuest. Gryffin said, oh yeah, well, we're going to know who's responsible once we beat you guys. That sure didn't happen in game number 1. It was a Blaber and APA masterclass here from the mid-jungle duo as they just continue patting the stats here a little bit longer. Decimating Smash finds its target. Blaber goes unstoppable, 12-1. GG, Cloud9 take the first game.
APA said when I was interviewing him, it was going to be better gameplay from C9 here today, and it was definitely that in game number 1. They slammed him.